Hi everyone, I'm Shelly and you're watching There's No Place Like Home. Today on Twitter, somebody asked a very interesting question, one that I've actually thought about very often, and I'm going to talk about that today. And I'm going to rephrase it a little bit, but the gist of the question was, why are the most educated people so blind? Okay, so first of all, you may have noticed that I am filming in a different room of my house because today we put up our Christmas tree, which meant that our Christmas tree took the place of my desk. My desk had to be moved to the kitchen, so this is going to be my workstation for the next month or so. But anyway, let's talk about that a little bit. Why are the most educated people so blind? Or why does it seem that those who are the most educated by society standards are also those who are least likely to look differently at what most people would consider the status quo? We see a lot of that happening nowadays, and I'm not going to mention any of them specifically because YouTube already has like a target on my channel for some reason. But, I think that most of you have seen it going on. There are certain narratives that the government pushes. There are certain narratives that mainstream media pushes. There are certain narratives that academia pushes. And those narratives, it seems, are very unconvincing to a lot of people, and a lot of people are questioning them because a lot of things about them don't make sense. And that is exactly what we should be doing. We should be asking questions, and we should be looking into things ourselves, researching things ourselves, rather than just accepting what we're told. And the thing is that we always seem to look at people with lots of letters behind their names as being the most intelligent in our community. And if you look at it, though, it seems that most of the people, not all of them, but most of the people who have had the highest level of education seem to be the most uncomfortable with questioning anything that the government, the media, or academia has told them. So what are some reasons that that could be happening? Well, I came up with 4 off the top of my head. You might have other ideas about why they do this, but let's just get into my thoughts about this. So first of all, indoctrination. Just as we see with kids who are like in high school or who are maybe freshly graduated from school, people who have the most number of degrees or the highest level of education have been in the system longer than a lot of people. So they have had more time to be indoctrinated, more time to have all of these ideas filled into their heads. And you can be sure that it doesn't just happen in K through 12th grade. Some of the worst places for this to happen is actually in the university setting. So of course, it makes sense that the more time that you spend in these areas, the less that you're going to question things because you've been spending so much time being fed talking points and being reassured that these things are true that you don't even think to question them. It almost becomes an automatic response or an automatic opinion about something, an opinion that may not have been yours had you not been fed this opinion. So the second one is relevance. I think that a lot of people who have these higher degrees, they get very irked that so many people are questioning the status quo, because a lot of the people behind the status quo, those people who are telling us what we should be believing, yeah, they are those people who have a lot of degrees, a lot of, letters behind their names. And so when other people see those lowly people like myself who are questioning the ideas that are being fed to everyone in society right now, it kind of irritates them. They want to feel like that piece of paper that they have is actually worth something. So they don't like to see all of us, what's the word I'm looking for? From 1984, I can't even think of it. Proles. They don't like to see proles looking at those people who they consider to be their peers because they went through all of this school. They're obviously more intelligent than most people, or at least that's what they've been led to believe. So we shouldn't even be questioning them because they spent all of that time, aka all that money, to get those degrees. They want that degree to be relevant, and they don't want to think that it's a possibility that it might not actually be necessary to know as much as people think. So the next one is pride, and this one actually goes right in with relevance. Again, a lot of people, not all, I have to say, there are a great number of people who are highly educated by society standards who are coming out and who are speaking out. But unfortunately, pride also plays an issue because, again, people who have had all of this education, they don't like to think that people don't think as highly of them as they might think of themselves. And that is the truth. A lot of them really do place themselves up on a pedestal. They look down on other people because they spent that time in school. And we have to admit that we've all been fed that line. We've grown up being told that the more education that you have, the better off you're going to be, the better that you're going to be, the higher in society, the more that people are going to look at you. And it's almost as if someone's worth is more linked to their piece of paper or those letters behind their name rather than their integrity or their true knowledge. So pride is certainly a huge issue. The second one is intellectual laziness. I think that a lot of these most educated people, they get complacent. They are so used to being told what to believe, what the mainstream narrative is, and they've been so good, they've been so successful at following it. I have to admit, when I was in school, I was one of those people that I did really well. They would tell me something, I would remember it, I would believe it, and I got good grades. And so it was very beneficial for me in that setting. So I think in that respect, a lot of people just really get complacent. They are so used to doing well, to understanding the things that they've been told, that when someone questions them, it kind of takes them aback a little bit, because I think that they're so interested in finding out new things, which is great. We should all be searching out for new information, new topics to discover. Self-education is something that should continue throughout your life, no matter what level of education you had. But I think that they get so focused on finding the next best thing that they don't ever stop to think that maybe they weren't told the truth about these things. And if they weren't told the truth about these things, was a lot of the time that they spent in school actually wasted? And I also I'm going to add a fifth one. I started out with 4, and now as I'm talking about this, I've actually realized another one. I think another one is money. If you actually look, a lot of the people who are the biggest advocates for these ideas that people are like, wait, they're like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. But there are some people who are huge advocates for this, and we're told that we should listen to them because they have a high degree or they have a certain degree in a certain area. But the thing is that if you actually look into a lot of these people, they will stand to make a lot of wealth from following certain mindsets, from getting people to believe certain things. So when it comes down to it, I don't know that it even necessarily means that they actually believe what they're telling you. You just have to follow the money trail. You have to look and see who is funding these people. What are they getting out of saying the things that they are saying? Because I think that's important. A lot of times we're told that we shouldn't believe certain things because the papers haven't been peer reviewed. But unfortunately, peer reviewed doesn't hold the standing that it used to, because I think most of us realize now that peer reviewed no longer means that something has withstood, for example, the scientific method. What peer reviewed means nowadays is that it is following a certain it's following the status quo. I keep repeating that, but it's following that. It's following what they want us to believe, and it's funded. So a lot of times these peer-reviewed papers, they're funded by the people with the lots of dollar signs behind their names. That's what they're going to do. A lot of times, unfortunately, the pride is going to come back in here. they lack integrity. They don't care about telling the truth. They care about climbing another rung on the ladder. And unfortunately, it's something that I don't think that we can really deny anymore. That's all that I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet and would like to hear more of what I have to say, I would love if you would do that. If you have any questions or comments, you can leave one over on Instagram because YouTube disables my comments. And if you like my work and would like to check out my Patreon page, I will leave a link in the description box for that as well. And I hope you have a great day.